Florida State lost to Cal.
I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't,
Then what the hell are you comparing the spreads
You can say the
for?
same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat. Andy, true or false? This is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this sword.
Good morning. Happy Saturday to you all. Hope you're all having a lovely morning. Hope you all had a lovely Friday night. I had a good one. I got a little greedy at the end there. I went 3-0 yesterday. Only placed 3 bets, won them all. Then it was about 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. Lakers-Clippers was about to start, and Apollo, who's a Clippers fan in the group, was like all fired up to bet the Clippers, and I was like, I'm in. So I ended up losing. A bet later. I don't know. He was like so amped up to watch the Clippers, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to sit here and watch this game. So I threw a bet down on it. So I ended up losing a bet and robbing myself of a sweep for the day. Blame Apollo for that.
And I was like the opposite. I've been playing Lakers first half and not telling everybody and trying to give Shipley credit. And then just how pissed off Apollo was, I had to like start throwing in his face. I had to start throwing some jabs.
Dude, they took an early lead too.
I know. Oh, I saw.
All right, we got a shitload of games to get to. Auburn, Kentucky. I mean, obviously I want to take Kentucky as dogs, but Auburn looked really impressive. What game was that? Their last one where they...
Ole Miss.
Yeah, I took Ole Miss plus 12.5. I was pretty confident with that. No. The fact that they just beat Ole Miss handedly like that leads me to believe they're more than capable of beating the hell out of Kentucky on the road. So you could put Kentucky up, but I don't have the nutsack to throw this one down.
I do. Kentucky plus 4.5. I don't care that the numbers moved against me. Yes, Auburn is Auburn. Not trying to. Again, that's pretty much all you need to say. I will say their last 3 games have been at home. The Arkansas game was close. The Georgia game was within 12, and then the Mississippi game that they obviously had everything working for them. But they haven't been nearly as dominant on the road, and Kentucky at home as a dog is something that I'm not going to pass up. We've been playing this spot for almost 2 years now. They're 6-2 on the road. I'm sorry, they're 6-2 this year as a dog, I think, as well. So again, it continues to pay out really well. We already know that Kentucky plays very well at home. Guys like Butler and Jackson Robinson have at least another game under their belt. That's only another positive thing for Kentucky. I bet Kentucky, and I really like it.
Too legit. First game of a 30-game slate we're about to go through. Too legit. Toast is already pissing me off.
What did I do?
Took one pick. Proppy, can you turn my mic up a little bit? I'm coming in a bit low. I just want to be brushing the orange a bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. No. I meant like on the soundboard. Yeah, okay, that's about right. Yeah, first game, Toast. I'm not betting this. And this is the one here. I've talked about this before. So the most angry comments you will get on YouTube is, I'm still coming in a little low. The most angry comments you will get on YouTube, the first game of a long slate, if you lose one.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and I've discovered why, because people watch and put all your picks in a parlay. And if it loses on the first one, they come back and are pissed. I swear, that's why.
And I get it. It makes so sense.
Yeah, and because I always wondered, like, why is everyone mad about that one game?
Like it's one game.
Yeah, but like you can go 8-1 on the day. If your loss is that first game, you will get angry comments, and that's why. Because people who place those big parlays are also the most likely to leave angry comment. It all adds up. It all adds up. So yeah, I'm not betting this one. So don't put this in your parlay. Don't even bet those. But if you're going
I bet it.
I'm not betting this.
Send your messages to me.
Trevor?
Yeah, I'll go Auburn here. I'm a certified Kentucky hater. I fucking hate these guys, and they need to make 14 threes to win games. Yeah, good luck. I get it's Rupp Arena, but I mean, for Christ's sake, Arkansas and Cal went in there and beat their ass, like belt to ass on a Saturday night. Now you got Auburn coming in, who just mollywopped fucking Ole Miss by 30 plus. I think Auburn maybe kind of that last game they might have just flipped the switch and now they're on to fuck you mode for March. So I want no part of this game. I'm not betting it. I'm going to sit back and watch it and enjoy it. But I'll take Auburn.
Next. If you're picking Arkansas here, you're square. I just want to get that across. If you're taking Arkansas in this spot, you're a square. Trevor, who are you taking?
Oh, I got Arkansas. I even put it down when I bet it last night, square. When I bet this, I love Arkansas here. They got something to play for. South Carolina, didn't they just win against Texas? Was that?
Yeah. Then they
week?
also got slaughtered by Missouri.
Yep. Yeah. They walked into Missouri, got slaughtered. Now they're gonna lay points to Arkansas. What the fuck are we doing? I get it's at home. I get the line's probably telling you, but at the same time, Arkansas just was laying 5.5 points. Last game, they won by 5. So it is what it is against Texas, but they're hitting the road. They have something to play for. This South Carolina team is shipped it in. I mean, they got nothing to play for whatsoever. They got Arkansas, Georgia, Tennessee. The game they'll get up for is Georgia at home. That's the one they can win. They're not beating Arkansas. I played +2 with Arkansas. Give me the Hogs. Easy money here.
Yeah, it seems like easy money, which is why it's not. South Carolina. I don't know if I actually bet this one, but it's a sketchy line. Arkansas has been significantly better than South Carolina. They're laying points. I mean, and South Carolina's laying points to them. I mean, South Carolina has covered the number at home, but we're usually getting like a +7.5. So, yeah, I'm not betting Arkansas on that sketchy line. It would only be South Carolina for me here.
Yeah, I bet South Carolina here. I know that Arkansas has been playing a little bit better on especially on the road. They have a couple wins there, but that was Kentucky and Texas. I think the Kentucky win, we all know that was like a really big deal for them. And then they had that momentum going on the road to Texas, but since then they really haven't done anything, especially on the road. I get that South Carolina might not have anything to play for, but they've been playing extremely well at home and very hard. I just have a hard time believing they're just going to lay an egg here today. So I bet South Carolina at +1.5 as well. So obviously this line's flipped a little bit, but regardless, yeah, I like South Carolina at home. I'm not going to stop one thing that we've been pretty much been making a moneymaker all year is at South Carolina at home. So I am more than happy to take my chances.
Prop Beaver, you have to go down to game 27, 28, 29, and 30 are the noon games. We skipped them. The thing automatically puts 12 at the back.
Well, okay. I would not have known that. So
20 go to 27. There we go. So we skipped the 4 noon games. We'll do them now. So people watching later are going to be like, what the hell kind of order is this? Clemson, Virginia. Is Virginia playing well or what?
No.
They looked all right.
Against?
I'm pulling it up. I'm pretty sure they've looked.
The Wake game? Wake is terrible.
I guess they didn't look good against North Carolina. I mean, they've won 3 of their last 5.
Yep. All teams in like that 100 range at KenPom. Now Clemson's coming in at like 15?
On the road at Wake is a good win. I don't think Wake's good either, but you want to do the KenPom talk. Wake's respected. I don't know. I think Virginia's turned over a new leaf. I'm not doing it though. Give me under.
Yeah, I have zero interest betting this game. I guess you could put Clemson up for me if you'd like, just because I trust Clemson, especially on the road. I trust them. Only 2 losses on the road this year, or sorry, 3. One of them, the 3rd game of the year against Boise. They had to travel across the country. They lost to South Carolina at home in overtime. We just talked about how good South Carolina is at home. And then they lost to Louisville on the road as well, and everybody loses to Louisville. Besides that, they're not losing games. So this number seems kind of short to me, to be dead honest with you guys. So Clemson or pass.
Trevor?
Yeah, Clemson. I'm not betting this game, but I'll take Clemson. They've been really good on the road, and like Toe said, their one road loss is Louisville here, and then South Carolina, December 17th. But that's the SEC. They're much better. Yeah. So, and then Boise State, just a weird spot to travel up there, but. Other than that, I mean, Virginia, their offense is terrible. I know they just beat Wake and they scored 83, but I'd like to see them score 83 points again and hang in against Clemson. So Clemson, but I ain't touching this game.
All right, next. Maryland, Penn State. I think Terps are about to beat the oblivion out of Penn State. Let's pull it up. I think so. I think this is Penn State did.
Mine doesn't feel short.
I was gonna say, dude, this is you can put Penn State.
I think it's short because Penn State has looked all right.
I mean, they've beaten Nebraska and Minnesota.
They've covered 3 in a row.
Yeah, they've lost 8 out of 10.
Yeah, but they've won 2 of their last 3. They've covered 3 in a row. I think people like Penn State right now.
I think people love Maryland, especially off a walk-off loss like that after they. Yeah, Penn State for me, no question.
Terps coming off the loss, man.
Yep, should be free.
It probably is going to be. Terps by double digits here. Trevor?
I'm pissed I didn't bet Penn State 5.5 last night.
Thank you.
I'm so mad at
Me too.
Dude, everybody's banking on a bounce
this is
back.
Fake sharp ass shit. I'm right.
Everybody's banking on a bounce back spot after the brutal loss at home. It was that nasty 5.5 number. It's come down, and nobody's betting Penn State. I think they come out a little just sluggish and dead. I mean, that was a max effort game. That was a physical game. That was a tough game against Michigan State. Now you're going to hit the road and just expect to win. Penn State's got nothing to lose. Rhodes was pissed off in that press conference about them. Essentially, they are eliminated from postseason play entirely, unless they make like some random tournament. But I think Penn State comes out here, and I think Penn State's live to win. I think Maryland can drop another game in a row. Like this line's weird. It's come down. Nobody wants to bet Penn State. Penn State's got nothing to lose. This might even be their last home game, I think, too.
It is. Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It is.
Jeez, I think Penn State's live.
Yes.
I may grab this 4.5, to be honest.
Yeah.
I may play it.
I just bet Maryland 4.5.
Trevor's...
Nothing you guys said swayed me at all.
I haven't even went yet. That's a little rude.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's go ahead.
So, but anyway, I'm on Penn State too. Kyle's a hater. That's all that needs to matter. But regardless, one thing that I will continue to say with Penn State, which I've said over the last 2 weeks with them, is that one thing I do trust with them is that Penn State's one of those teams, one of the older teams in the country where they have a whole bunch of guys that aren't just going to go out laying down. So, I like Penn State. I think they've been playing much better basketball. I know they don't have much to play for. I think they're going to continue to play basketball. Watch out, Bucky. Watch out.
I like the comments.
Okay, buddy. Pump the
I like the comments. Sharp as a spoon. Fake sharp Penn State. Penn State sucks. Penn State is soft.
Yeah, I'm betting Penn State now.
Let's go.
Yeah, thank you, comments. Keep on coming.
This is probably gonna be my fake sharp play of the day next. UConn Providence. At the dunk. Did you take Providence, Trevor?
Oh yeah, I took the 7 with Providence at the dunk. UConn, like this is going to be a game. UConn, what do? They don't pull away. Congrats, they pulled away against Georgetown, who was depleted and didn't have anybody in that game. But other than that, lost to St. John's, 7-point game to Villanova, lost to Seton Hall, Creighton 4-point game, 6-point game to St. John's, 8-point to Marquette. DePaul was an 11-point win. Congratulations. They don't win by margin. Like in this 7, I think there's no shot. They're hitting the road. Providence at the dunk. They've got DePaul and Xavier left. This is their biggest game. The DePaul and UConn left at home. This is their last big home game. They got to play DePaul on a Wednesday, so that's whatever. But this Saturday against UConn, they'll be loud. They'll be up. This place will be amped. Give me Providence. Fry her up. The only thing I don't like is that this game should have been at 6 o'clock, not fucking noon or whatever the hell it's being played.
Why does that bother you?
Oh, you got to let those fans get nice and liquored up and loud and shit.
What?
So
they're gonna be tuned up, man.
Oh no,
Saturday.
they will. But
it's the day.
I'm give them an extra 6 hours.
You want a good lather of liquor.
I went to UConn, and if there was a noon game, we were ready. We were good. Like, was not an issue. I hate that I kind of agree with them. The first sentence he said, "What? UConn doesn't pull away. They freaking don't." Yeah, Providence at the dunk. I would love to see her make fun. I'm not
Welcome.
saying I'm not saying the dunk is a blind fade. I'm just saying you guys, the way you talk about it is weird. It's not even called the dunk anymore.
I don't know. It's the dunk. It's Miller Park. And it's
Definitely
the
the
rack.
dunk.
Someone said day
Yeah.
drinking is crazy. Yeah, well, to me, like 36 years old, but like to the student section,
36. Yeah.
to the student section, it's not weird at all. In fact, it's a
At
regular
18,
occurrence.
They woke
yeah.
up with Bloody Marys. Okay.
Yeah, that's a normal Saturday at that age. At least it was for me.
That sounds terrible.
Toast, you betting the dunk?
Yeah, I've just been waiting. This line continues to climb. It was at 5.5. It's at 7.5. I think it's going to peak at 7.5. But the only thing I can really add is from what Trevor said is that I do like with Providence is that they've been able to shoot the 3-ball, and that's the one thing that Connecticut usually struggles with. Really big inside, UConn is, but I don't really think Providence matters with that. I think they're just going to try to shoot the lights out at home here today. So yeah, I'll be on Providence. I was just kind of waiting. I was kind of hoping there would be an 8 to pop up, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So 7.5 for me.
Someone said Kyle probably calls the Sears Tower by its new name also. Next up, Butler, Villanova. I disagree with what these guys said last night. I watched the entire Pump Fake show start to finish. I completed the marathon. Both you guys like Butler. I think it's a sharp spot to lay the points of Villanova. No one's going to want to do it. Butler's trash. I think Villanova's going to cover, and I think it's going to be – I kind of want to see what the poll does first. Trev's on Butler. Go ahead. Let him spew his thing.
No, I'm not on Butler.
Yes,
I
you
just
are.
wanna
You
say-
said Butler
I was
last
going to say
night.
Butler's
No.
not trash right now. I just want to throw that out there.
You 1,000% took Butler on the show last night, unless I'm
No,
bugging.
if I did, I misspoke. I liked Villanova, and I liked Butler team total under. That may be what.
Maybe I was half
Under-
listening.
Under 69.5.
I'm not on
no,
Butler.
this
I'm not
is-
on Butler.
Beaver, you can
Villanova.
put Butler up for me.
Lots
Yeah,
of,
if
lots
I-
of things going on.
If I had to play this game, I would take the Butler team total under. Villanova at home, their defense is much better. Butler coming off of the max effort St. John's game where they were hanging around, they had a chance late. So I think Butler comes up flat. I think Villanova kind of cruises, wins by double digits. You know, this is gonna be like a 72 to like 60, 63 game, something like that.
We Love Drugs is on Butler. And so is Toast, who also loves drugs.
I also love drugs. So let's do this. I know that Villanova has been winning some games, but I just really haven't really been impressed in what they've been doing. A 10-point win against DePaul, 12 against Xavier at home. They really had a really good game against Marquette, but at the same time, they didn't really look good themselves against Seton Hall. And now they're playing a Butler team that, I mean, since the month of February started, they lost to Xavier on the road by 13, and they lost to St. John's by 6 in a game where I honestly feel like a couple things go their way. They probably could have won that St. John's game. So obviously St. John's very good, the best team in the conference. But all that being said, I do think that both these teams are playing pretty similar, and I do think that Butler matches up pretty well with Villanova here today. You really got to guard Eric Dixon, and they do have Telfort, they have Screen, they've got McCaffrey. All these guys are 6'9", 7 feet tall. So I do think that they match up well with Villanova. So if Villanova's making their shots, so be it. But like I said, I think the size of Butler and the rebounding ability is going to be the difference here. So I'll take all the points with Butler.
All right, you got to go find our spot.
Yeah, it's a game 3.
Beautiful.
By the way, Penn State's down to 4 now.
God damn it. No, I don't care. I'm on the right side. I'm winning the bet. I just could have gotten an extra half point by waiting. Not worried about it. Maryland's going to win by 12. What another ugly one.
I got 5.
Minnesota has covered these numbers for me. I think I've bet them a couple times as a big road dog, and they've covered for me. So I don't really want to turn my back on them here. Yeah, I guess I'll say Minnesota. I don't know. What are you guys doing? Don't put up anything for me yet.
Trevor can go. And the only reason I say that because I feel like I don't know how to cap a Nebraska game anymore, to be honest with you. I made a whole bunch of money, then lost a whole bunch of money, and then I've been kind of going back and forth. So I just don't really have a good read on this team, especially at home. If I had a gun to my head, it would be Minnesota for sure. I just don't trust Nebraska to be laying multiple possessions in general.
Trevor?
Yeah, Minnesota does play their better ball as of late on the road versus at home. But if I had to play this, I would take Nebraska team total over. I know Minnesota plays at the slowest pace possible, but same reason I played, Michigan team total over last game. Nebraska and Michigan both played that 49, 46 slobber knocker 2 nights ago, and I think now's a great time for a buy low spot. Minnesota's defense isn't great at all. They do play pretty slow on offense, but other than that, you got Nebraska at home. Didn't even crack 50 points last game. I would back Nebraska to get some buckets here and shoot a lot better than they did. And I think it's 70 and a half. Yeah, 70 and a half. So, all they need is 71 points in a 40-minute game against Minnesota. They can do that.
I guess put up Nebraska. I don't freaking know.
I that's why I said it was kind of hard because I think Nebraska ends up winning. I just don't trust them to win by margin. So.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I need to find some more bets. I only have 3 or 4 bets open for college basketball so far.
Still at 4.5. Okay, Trevor, do the right thing here. Go ahead. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I got two ways I would play this. I laid the 4.5 with Kansas.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wrong.
Look at the fake sharp over here. Oh my God! I'm getting 4.5 points with Texas Tech. They're so good. Oh my God, this is free.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, I've been a prime hater of Kansas. Everyone knows this. That's
how I was confident when I knew when you picked that side. I was very confident.
100%. But this is a system play. Who just played Houston?
Oh, I already know, brother.
Texas
You're preaching
Tech.
to the choir.
Yep, Texas Tech. You can take Kansas minus 4.5. You can take the Texas Tech team total under. It's gonna be fine because the one thing we know, even if you don't want to bet Kansas, I get it. They're not good, but what do they do consistently? Play defense. So I will take Kansas minus 4.5. I think they get it done here. This is Fog Allen. They're unranked. They got Texas Tech coming in. This will be huge. They're gonna beat them, and then the AP will put them back at 22 or something. Put the number right back next to their name. They're gonna get it done. Their defense is gonna play lockdown. Houston just played that massive game against Texas Tech, Texas Tech just played that Houston game. They're going to struggle to score here. Kansas is going to lock down on defense. Kansas is going to win an ugly one, 68 to 62.
Yep. Preach. Go ahead, Kyle. I know you got something to say.
First, let me start by saying I've picked 4 consecutive Kansas games correct. I have my thumb on the pulse of this Kansas team, and I knew there was going to be a day where the market has forgotten how bad Kansas was for most of this year, and that day is today. I took Kansas against Oklahoma State, laid the big number, said it was a bounce back. Like I said, I've picked the Kansas games correct 4 consecutive times in a row, and now we finally made it to the point where the market has forgotten about January. They forgot about most of February. We're getting the better team plus 4.5 here. This coming off a Houston game, that's some fake shit. Texas Tech wins outright. I'm betting this.
That might have been the squarest play I've ever seen on this show.
And I bet Arkansas.
Toast, we're polling at almost 70% Kansas. Everyone's taking Kansas.
Because they're the right side. That's also went up from 3.5 to 4.5.
The market has forgotten that Kansas is not great this year.
No, they're still top 20 in Kent Palm. The idea that Kansas is so bad is kind of a fallacy.
I don't think they're so bad, but Texas Tech is better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just don't think that. I do think that Kansas is playing a little bit better. A little bit better than what people are giving them credit for. Just going back to the month of February, they lost to Baylor on the road, Kansas State on the road, and then their mountain trips. They've been fine at home. I understand that there was a crazy game in there at home as well, but at the same time, that they chopped away. But at the same time, this Kansas team is a little bit better. And I also think that you mentioned that this is the day that the market's catching up to them. I think it's the opposite. I think this is the day that people start to realize that I've been right for a couple weeks, and this Kansas team might be an actual threat in March. So we're going to find out here very soon.
I already know. All right, I just bet Texas Tech plus 4.5 at the money line. What's next? Oklahoma, Ole Miss. I feel like this is a little short. Ole Miss kind of got embarrassed. Maybe a little embarrassed. I really think I really think Ole Miss thought they were going to win that game, or at least thought they had a realistic shot of winning it. They got the shit beat out of them by Auburn. So how do they respond to that? Do they come back home and get back on the horse, or are they deflated? Oklahoma's pretty bad. I think this is a little short, so I guess I'll say Ole Miss. But if I'm being honest, don't have a ton of interest in betting it. Oklahoma actually looked all right in their last game. I know Trevor bet them in their last one. I picked Oklahoma on the show, but I didn't bet it. So you can put up Ole Miss for me, but Oklahoma might be a dark horse.
I'll go really quickly because this one's really simple for me. I actually hate the spot for Oklahoma. I think they had their chance against Kentucky. They completely blew it, and now they got to get on a road and play a pissed-off Ole Miss team that I don't think they're going to score on the road. So it would be Ole Miss with me. Don't want to lay 7.5. But yeah, Ole Miss would definitely decide. I really hate the spot for Oklahoma. I think they had a chance to win a basketball game, and now getting on a plane and facing a team that's pissed off that has something to play for is a death sentence. So Ole Miss for me.
Someone said Joklahoma.
Hey,
Trevor, are you sticking with the Sooners? They did you right last time.
Yeah, shout out Oklahoma. Hell of a cover. Good teams win, great teams cover. Congrats on the win, Kentucky. Nobody cares. But this is a spot, Ole Miss. Ole Miss.
Hater.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm a hater. Ole Miss, I love it here. They just got housed on national television, embarrassed, some say, by Auburn by 30 in the jungle. Like, the jungle might be back. And now you're coming home against an Oklahoma team who sucks on the road. Florida, 22 points. Missouri was, quick math, 24-28 to Auburn. Texas A&M beat them by 7. They did beat Arkansas on the road. That was after Georgia, right before Kentucky. Total look-ahead spot and letdown. And then they went to Georgia, lost by 10, and then went to Alabama and lost by 28. So they suck on the road. It's Oklahoma, LSU, and South Carolina. You absolutely fade on the road. So give me Ole Miss pissed off here, needing a win. They're gonna fuck them up. This is an Ole Miss easy.
Ole Miss, Kansas, moneyline parlay. There it is. That's what I just bet.
Ole Miss, Kansas, moneyline parlay.
Yep.
All right, next game. Do the right thing, guys. I can't.
Johnny's
can't
by a million.
No, that's the wrong bet. What has Seton Hall shown us?
They're not good at basketball.
No, it's shown us that they're capable of being the team that catches teams. They upset UConn. This St. John's team has clinched the Big East.
I thought they needed today to win. I thought today was
the worst they can do is 4 losses.
Right, but they can share. But then Pitino came out on TV and he said, "I have no interest in sharing the title."
No, I think they beat Creighton. Oh, Creighton. They split with Creighton. Okay, so actually, technically, they can still tie. But they have they're on the road at Marquette after this. This is a sleepy spot for St. John's. Seton Hall revenge against Kadari Richmond. Going to show him why he never should have left Jersey.
Touche. That's fair.
Pirates.
This one comes down to
I think if you want to back St. John's, you do it first half because Seton Hall routinely finds themselves down like 15, 20 points in games, and then they just second half they claw back, they turn on the press, the full court, and then they come back in games. Pitino does respect Shaheen. He has mentioned it. He did steal his best player due to money. But other than that, Richmond said, or Pitino said Richmond would still be there if they had the same amount of money. So I don't think they embarrass them. I think St. John's wins by 13, 14, somewhere around there. But I couldn't pull the trigger last night regardless. So I'll take Seton Hall with the points, or just take a Seton Hall team total under. I think this is going to be a gross defensive game. Where we see like 130 points at most, 120.
Someone said Seton Hall is live, ... to get beat by 40. Next up.
I think there's a lot of other games that you can bet a lot more confidently. I'll say that.
LSU, no brainer. Mississippi State's done. That was their Super Bowl. Looked like shit. Man. There's no hope left in this team. LSU's feisty. Shouldn't be getting double digits. Mississippi State's an overrated team to begin with. Everyone thinks they're good. They're not. LSU plus
When's
12.
The last time? All right.
I guess late 12. Late 15 with Mississippi State. Why not?
I'm just asking, when's the last time LSU played well on the road?
I know. That's what every single person in the world is thinking. Which is why they're laying a stupid 12 number with Mississippi State.
It's not stupid because they lose every game by double digits on the road. So it's not. I
Mississippi
think it's
State's
very
probably free.
Number. So, Again, a lot of better spots on the board, but yeah, I'll take Mississippi State here at home after just getting absolutely not only embarrassed by Oklahoma, but kind of embarrassed by Alabama as well. And now they're back home where they've played a little bit better. Again, the teams that they've lost at home to don't even hold a freaking candle to teams like LSU. So Mississippi State for me in a bounce back. Not betting it.
Trevor.
Yeah, I laid it with Mississippi State here. LSU, again, one of those teams that loses by double digits routinely on the road. I believe every road game in the SEC play, they've lost by 11 or 12 plus. You got Mississippi State coming off and giving up 204 points on the road the last two games. They're back home. Chris Jans was fuming. He's steaming mad about that defense. They're going to come down. They're going to clamp LSU. Not to mention LSU just gave max effort against Tennessee and Florida at home. Now they're going to hit the road. This line's telling you everything. This is Mississippi State in a rout. No problem.
LSU's been playing tough recently, and they won their last road game.
At home,
against who?
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Thank you.
What would the line be, Oklahoma at Mississippi State?
Probably
9.5, 7,
8.
9.5, 8.
So you're making my point for me. LSU just went into Oklahoma and beat them. All right, never mind. All right, go on. Alabama, Tennessee, Vols. Guys?
Yeah, I laid it with Tennessee here.
I thought you were going to continue. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. You guys talk. I don't know.
Sometimes you do. That's why I was waiting.
Yeah, I laid it with Tennessee here. Everyone's blowing their load over Alabama. Just scoring all these points at home lately. They did go to Missouri, scored 98. Guess what? They lost by 12. Their defense is still ass. They just scored 200 and whatever points at home. Now they're going to hit the road against a Tennessee team. Guess what? That shit ends today. Alabama's going to struggle to score. Alabama's defense is a joke. Tennessee's, their offense is starting to look better. Lanier's starting to show up again, like what they paid him for. I mean, 14, 30, 21 in his last 3 games. And their last game with 14, it was LSU, so on the road. And that was off of the A&M game too on the road, so it wasn't really a max effort game. But you got Alabama coming in. They don't play defense. They give up a shit ton. This is a Chaz Lanier game again. Tennessee -3.5. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, Alabama's sole mission is to outscore you, right? Their defense sucks. Well, they're solely relying on their offense. Well, they're on the road against maybe the only defense in the country that could keep them from scoring 90 points. Tennessee's one of the best, if not the best defense in the country. They're especially good at home. And if Alabama is having trouble offensively, they're not going to be in any basketball game. Toast?
True. Tennessee as well for me. Pretty much Trevor said it pretty much the best. It's what they've been doing what Alabama's been doing has been really impressive, but at the same time, I don't know if it lasts against a team in Tennessee who is the #1 defense as far as Ken Palm is concerned. And just really quickly, because I thought this was worth mentioning, Mississippi State, obviously, we know Alabama won. Mississippi State's in the 40s. Kentucky's in the 60s. But Missouri and Auburn, both those teams play a little bit better defense. Not nearly as good as Tennessee, but Auburn's pretty close. They lost both those games. My point being is that anytime that Alabama has seen a team that is very good defensively, they haven't been nearly as good. So I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to put up another 100-piece or whatever it is like they have been doing the last few games against this Tennessee defense. So, yeah, Tennessee -3.5 for me. It is on the move, though, so I would bet that soon.
Vols next. So in this next one, it's UCF on the road at TCU. I bet TCU. I don't remember why. It was based off something they said on Pump Fake last night. I just woke up and I
was wondering when you put that in there. I was like,
I don't really know. I have a TCU -3.5 ticket. I know I bet it during the Pump Fake show, but I forget what they said that made me bet it. Trevor, do you remember? You muted.
TCU at home's in a wagon. Still muted.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull this up. UCF.
You guys said something.
It's probably TCU at home, who's been absolutely kind of dominant over the last month and a half.
Oh, yeah. UCF back-to-back home wins. Utah. Congratulations on that. And then they beat Kansas State. Sweet Kansas State's mojo is gone.
Facts.
Like they ran out of gas. You got TCU off back-to-back losses at Cincy, West Virginia. Tough. Now you're going to come home and play a UCF team that doesn't play any defense whatsoever. TCU at home has caught teams too. So I laid it with TCU here. I think they get a nice, I wouldn't say easy. I mean, it's not like they're a lead or anything, but TCU can win this game by like 6-7 points at least, especially at home. They catch teams off guard there. And UCF plays zero defense. So, if TCU just clamps up a little bit, they should have no problem cruising to victory here by 4 or more.
Apollo said, damn, Tennessee's defense is better than Houston's. I think they would be 1 and 2.
Yeah. Statistically. Houston gets away with foul defense.
And they also play in the Big 12 compared to the SEC.
Actually, if we're being technical, Houston would be number 3. St. John's would be number 2.
Not today. They're not number 2 today.
I'm just putting it out there.
Pirates are coming. So yeah, that's why I bet it was because of the spot that both these teams are coming. I remember now after Trevor said it. So you got TCU coming off back-to-back road losses. Now they're back home and need a win. And you got UCF coming off back-to-back home wins. Now they're going on the road. So like a nice little buy low, sell high spot. I heard Trevor talk about it on the Pump Fake, placed it. So yeah, I'm on TCU.
Yeah, it'd be TCU for me. I haven't betted. I was kind of watching to see what this line would do. But I really can't add much. All I just wanted to point out is that TCU at home, since after that loss, that embarrassing loss on the road to Texas Tech and to Kansas at home, they've been really, really good in the month of February. Home wins against Colorado, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech. So I have no reason to believe that they should. And I also think they just kind of mailed it in last Tuesday against West Virginia. They played close against Cincinnati. That game kind of got away from them. Then they had to get on the plane, go into Morgantown. They just really never showed up. I think they show up here today at home.
I think you guys are on the wrong side of this next. I shouldn't say you guys because I don't know what Toast is on, but I know what Trevor's on, and he's on the wrong side. USC might win this. Bro, no one wants to bet USC. No one wants to bet USC right now. They look terrible. People have all of a sudden they're back on the Oregon train. The Ducks are good. Dana Altman.
Rangers Rubik's cubes.
I think USC might win this game, and no one likes it.
I'm sure as hell not laying points with Oregon. I'm curious to hear.
Well, Trevor's all about it. He's like all about Oregon.
Go ahead.
Okay, I did not bet Oregon, but I do like Oregon in this one. I didn't bet it. I like Oregon. I did not bet it. But USC is awful. I don't care if they're still staying on the West Coast for this, but Oregon just went, they traveled and they got wins. I know it was a fight against Iowa, but Wisconsin, hell of a game, came back, got the dub. Now they're going to come home. I think that game just kind of clicked for Oregon at the last, 6 minutes of that game. Came back, so I know they exerted some effort here, but USC doesn't play defense whatsoever. You got Dana Altman in March. They're going to go on a run here. I mean, they're going to beat Indiana and Washington and USC. They're going to go into the tournament pretty hot here. And 7.5, not a fan that it hasn't moved, but I still wouldn't bet USC with that defense. This Oregon team has started to click offensively, and I think they get a nice double-digit win here today.
Toast.
It'd be USC or pass for me. Don't really like the fact that I know that Oregon's had a few days to prep for this, but don't like them coming home off the East Coast road trip. Not to mention the fact that they pretty much gave everything they could to not only come back against Wisconsin, then pull that out in overtime. And now they got to come home, and it's kind of a weird spot for them. They only have one home game, then they got to go on the road to Washington and then UCLA. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of this. I like Oregon. I like them to win games in the tournament. They'll be a team that's a sleeper team for me, but laying 7.5 to a desperate USC team in a spot that I don't really like is not where I'm trying to get involved.
Oregon's going to upset Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament.
I know. That's what I'm just waiting for. I'm just keeping my duck bullets in my chamber.
Oh, yeah. Now it's a revenge spot. I guess I can't use that take anymore.
Don't matter.
Cincinnati, Houston. I mean... Houston by a couple touchdowns.
What's the number now? Is it still
13.5?
I think it was 13, yeah.
I don't like Cincinnati, so I don't see any reason.
I don't like the spot for Houston. That's where I'm at. Not only do you have them coming off a pretty decent couple wins, one of them Iowa State, one of them Texas Tech, and then they have Kansas on deck, where we all know that the last time those two teams played was an absolute battle. and you're catching with a Cincinnati team that, again, don't really love them, but I will give them credit since the month of February has kind of clicked over. They've been playing much better. Only 2 losses on the road, Iowa State and West Virginia. West Virginia game was by 3. The Iowa State game was like by 2 possessions. So do I think that they stay close here? The only reason I would lean Cincinnati is because I think the pace of this game is going to be extremely slow. And it's not that I feel like Cincinnati can match up with Houston defensively, but at the same time, I do think that Cincinnati is much better defensively than they are offensively. So I think this game's going to be gross. Do I actually bet it? No, but I lean Cincinnati at a big number on a low total.
Trevor?
I'm close to playing this. I haven't, but Cincinnati first half team total under 25.5. It's at home. I get Houston's off of the tough Texas Tech win, but Houston at home gets away with that foul defense. I mean, they play some aggressive defense. They get away with everything. And the second half is where they tend to kind of take the foot off the gas. I know I played Iowa. I think it was last weekend. I think Iowa State under 27.5. Maybe it was a bit lucky that Iowa State didn't score for fucking 10 minutes, but it got home. But that was still a little off for Houston. I mean, they still held them under 60 regardless. They got off to a slow start, but Cincinnati, their offense has been good, but it's not an offense that really scares me. Not to mention they play slow. Houston's going to have a great defense at home. I'm not too worried about them coming off of Texas Tech. Maybe if it was at Cincinnati, it would be different, but Houston at home, I'll still ride that first half team total under angle. It's been really nice to me.
I was going to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I know Houston hasn't really been blowing teams out, but if you look at their schedule, 3 of the last 4 games against ranked opponents, and if you wind back before that, I mean, beat Baylor by 11 at home. We haven't seen Houston in many spots where they're at home against a team that they should beat the shit out of. I get it that they haven't covered these numbers in some occasions, but we haven't seen many opportunities for them to do so. Next up. Ugh. Kind of want to go Musketeers, but you guys have a bet in Creighton Xavier?
I do. Biggest bet of the day for me.
Really?
Actually.
Go ahead.
Xavier on the money line. I got Xavier on the money line at -134. Still pretty much around that number. I think that Xavier is playing some of the best basketball in the country that nobody's talking about. Since the beginning, since they took that St. John's loss at home at the beginning of January, they have 3 losses. One of them to St. John's on the road in overtime. The other one on the road against Creighton, and the other one on the road against Villanova. But this team at home has been fantastic. I will give you that the competition hasn't been great, but you're getting a Creighton team that really hasn't been playing super well either. And when the last few times that they've stepped up in competition, a la St. John's and UConn, they've lost both those games. One of them was at home, one of them was on the road. If there's a place that I trust Creighton, it's at home. On the road, definitely not a place. I think this is a huge game for Xavier, especially as far as the conference standing and whatnot. They're 10-7. UConn's 11-6. Villanova's right behind them at 10-8. So they definitely need this game. I think that Xavier matches up really well with Kalkbrenner and company because of the size that they have with Fremantle and stuff like that. So Swan's 6'8" as well. So all my chips are in the middle with Xavier here today. I think this is a great spot to play on them.
It's not that I disagree with what you're saying. Xavier has played well. I bet them a couple times in there too, so I've capitalized on it. You have to at least acknowledge that they've played pretty much the 4 worst teams in the Big East in a row.
They played DePaul, man.
Yeah.
You're right. My bad.
And they beat Villanova. They beat Marquette. They beat UConn.
They lost to Villanova.
Yeah, they also beat them as well. So at home.
You put Xavier up for me.
When this game is at home, that's where I care about.
I don't know. I actually put Creighton up. I think Creighton's going to win. I'm not betting it, though. You're on Xavier, Trev?
Yeah. Xavier, they need these games, especially with how bad the Big East has been this year in the non-con and overall. They need a win against a good team here. They couldn't get it against St. John's both times they played. Creighton beat them by 9 on the road. Now Xavier's laying points at home. I think Xavier wins. This is a must-have game for their resume. I know they might be on the bubble. I haven't checked, but if they get this game, that's going to do wonders because you finish out with Butler and Providence. So you can finish out winning your last 7 games. You got to win over Creighton in there. I'll take Xavier here. I bet it -2. I think they get it done at home. Sean Miller, X, love it.
And that's a really good point as far as them needing this game. That was the only thing I forgot to mention is that I do feel like if Xavier to win this game, they're pretty much in the dance. They would have to essentially fall on their face really early in that tournament or lose one of these games coming up, which I don't think they're going to do. So,
it's Military Appreciation Day, by the way, at Xavier.
For what?
Oh, at Xavier.
I don't know like what specific branch of the
Oh,
military.
I thought you meant the next game was coming up.
No. At Xavier, it's Military Appreciation Day. Next up, SMU Stanford. I don't know why SMU's laying a point. It's not even that I'd say SMU's better than Stanford, but they're certainly about even. So in Stanford, I would have this like Stanford -2. I don't know. Stanford, I guess.
I lean Stanford on the stinky line. I wouldn't argue that these two teams are even at all. I would argue that's SMU significantly better than Stanford, and I don't even think it's close. Yes.
What?
Trevor, am I crazy for saying that?
SMU is not bad. They're definitely like the top 3 or 4 and fourth, I think, right behind Louisville in the ACC. But it's not like they're like elite. This is gonna be This is gonna be a good matchup between like Renault and that Turkish.
I lean Stanford personally, but on the number.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you. I lean Stanford catching points. SMU just laid this number against Cal. They snuck out of there with a 4-point win. Cal's significantly worse. I think Stanford gets it done. I think they get the win. I don't have faith in this SMU team. They're so hit or miss. Like sometimes they won't show up when they should, and then when they shouldn't, they do show up. So I don't like Stanford. I think Renault and company against Stanford get it done today. But it will be a fun matchup with that Turkish dude and Renault inside.
Steve Mason in the comments says it's popcorn bucket giveaway at Stanford today. Ooh, I got to admit though, I'm not double checking these. Steve Mason could be a psychopath just typing whatever. I'm not sure if that's accurate.
I love a good popcorn giveaway, personally.
Let's go on to the next one.
I got a popcorn bucket in your room right now, I bet. Still sitting there.
You got a popcorn bucket in there?
Oh, yeah, Yankees one. I mean,
that guest room, no one's probably walked in there since you left.
So I know, trust me.
There might be a popcorn
everything I left is still right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Notre Dame, Wake Forest. What is the line here on this one?
8.5.
8.5. Ugh. I don't know. This one sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I guess Wake Forest, and that's a huge guess. The only reason I say that is Notre Dame's having a hard time winning games. This is absolutely disgusting. But do I want to really lay 8.5 or multiple possessions, whatever the number is, with Wake Forest right now, who's looked like absolute garbage after beating a couple really bad teams 3 games in a row? No. So, and they have Duke on deck. So, absolutely not. So, yeah, I guess it's Wake or pass just because Notre Dame's that bad.
All right, now I'm convinced people are making shit up. They got Stanford's 12-3 against the spread on popcorn giveaway days. There's no way we have 15 games of data on that. I guess just put up Wake. Notre Dame's trash, but I'm not betting. I'm not laying 8.5 points with Wake Forest.
Yeah, not a chance in hell.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Wake Forest. This is a game they pissed down their leg just like the last game, and just totally fuck up their resume by dropping these 2 games. So I'd take Notre Dame, but I'm not betting this one.
Yeah, well, let's just go on. To the next one. We're getting to some cool games coming up. What time is that? Whatever that slate is we just went through is going to be like maybe when I take a nap, because I like the early games and I like the later games, but there's like a lull in the middle of today.
The only, just really quick with that Wake Forest game, the only thing that gave me pause about betting Notre Dame was that same number as Florida State, and they choked that game away. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just weird.
Oh, Trevor, what do you think about, this is not one we have lined up, Purdue Fort Wayne plus 2.5 coming off the embarrassing upset loss?
Yeah, who are they playing again?
Cleveland State.
Cleveland State.
Cleveland State.
Don't do it,
yeah.
Trevor.
It's a suspiciously small line.
Don't do it, Trevor.
I kind of want to bet that one.
It is a weird line. Cleveland State, they play. Yeah, Cleveland State beat them by 10 on the road. Now they're laying a short number at home. Cleveland State has also dropped 4 of their last 5, 6 of their last 7. Their wins are Detroit Mercy, and then they did get Milwaukee, but Milwaukee had a terrible game.
People think Cleveland State is good. They're not good right now. And Purdue Fort Wayne is coming off an embarrassing loss. I like the.
So is Cleveland State.
They're
Everything that
coming
you
off
can say for everything that you can say for Purdue Fort Wayne, you can say for Cleveland State, and Cleveland State's a better team.
Purdue Fort Wayne is coming off an uncharacteristic, embarrassing loss. Cleveland State's been getting embarrassed for a month and a half.
I know Horizon ball. Okay,
I do too.
Don't
now.
start. Okay, I do too now.
I would take the points for Fort Wayne personally.
Probably Vanderbilt here, right?
Yeah, I've already bet Vanderbilt here. Did the number move against me? What's the number now? 2.5? Yes, it did. Even better. Yeah, I got Vanderbilt +2 here. It's actually kind of simple for me. I'm just going to continue to bet Vanderbilt at home until they give me a reason not to. Their only home loss in the last, two or 3 months is Auburn, which, again, hard to really hate them for that. They've been playing pretty decent basketball. And Missouri, a team that I continue to say, I don't think they're that good. I know that they've played really well. I know they have some decent wins. I'm just not a fan of Dennis Gates. I'm not a fan of this Missouri team. I think they're a little fugazi. I'm going to continue to stand on that. If they can go on the road in Vanderbilt and beat me by a possession, so be it. But I have a hard time believing that happens here. So I think they've looked really good at home at certain times, and the road games have been a little bit more shaky than people want to talk about. So, yeah, I'm definitely on Vandy here today.
Trevor.
Yeah, I'm back and forth on this. I'm not going to bet this game, but I did put Missouri down last night, but I didn't love it. Huff kind of swayed me a little bit, but Byington did do an interview where he was talking about he can't even go get coffee without everyone talking to him about the bubble. They're in their last 4 out. They're this and that. I think he knows, and the team knows that this is a huge game, especially for the resume. If you get a big win over Missouri, that should solidify you in, because I mean you finish with Arkansas, Georgia, so they're going to drop that Arkansas game and then beat Georgia. So I think this is a must-have game. I think Vanderbilt gets it done, but I'm not betting it. You know, Huff swayed me. I don't have a strong feel on this game, but the line does feel telling that it's a Vanderbilt spot.
Huffer combs his hair, and now you listen to him. Interesting.
Nah, he didn't comb his hair. He was rocking like a wool hat inside last night. Like they do. The Midwest is just like another planet. So, by the way, Jen is upset with the Purdue Fort Wayne pick.
Yeah, because Jen knows what she's talking about.
Jen, they're second place in the conference because of what they did in January. They're 2-5 in their last 7. Cleveland State sucks.
And Purdue Fort Wayne's 1-3. You know what? We're gonna move on. I'm not gonna stand.
I'm betting it.
I'm betting it. Now, I already did. Now I'm just pissed off.
Both Toast and Jen are pissing me off right now. I'm betting this. Let me get this.
See what we have to deal with, Jen. Unbelievable.
I trust the elephants. What are we on now?
Louisville,
Pitt,
Pittsburgh.
Louisville.
Trevor, take it away.
Eat shit, Pitt, Louisville. I might bet this. Louisville's by far the better team. Pitt is fucking fraud as shit. Louisville, they get these done. Like they cover these spreads. They're like a tier B Duke in terms of like covering spreads and big numbers.
Okay.
I'm not saying they are Duke. I'm saying in terms of covering big numbers and spreads, they're like a tier B. They're right below Duke.
Okay.
They do cover these big ones. They win by margin. At home, Saturday, Pitt fucking sucks. Eat shit, Pitt. I'll take Louisville, but I did not bet this one.
Toast.
Copy and paste that for me. Pittsburgh's absolutely terrible. I think they're one of the more overrated teams in the country. And Louisville's had a couple, I don't want to say, I should say close calls for Louisville, where that Florida State game got a little bit iffy and the Virginia Tech game got really iffy. So I would expect them to be ready here today. So yeah, it would be Louisville or pass. I didn't bet it though.
Pitt money line. No one in the world wants to bet Pitt. It's finally time to get back in. Yes, they've been overrated and overvalued by the market for a long time, pretty much the whole season. And I understand why everyone makes jokes like eat shit, Pitt, because they've been incredibly disappointing. But let's not ignore the fact that the market has finally corrected itself. We're talking about plus 10.5. This is what Georgia Tech was getting. Like, I'm actually going to put a few dollars on this.
That game was on the road though for Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the record.
Yeah, Louisville minus the points is free. Give me Pittsburgh money line. Half unit, small bet. Where can I get plus 450 on BetMGM? I'm on it. What's next?
gross.
Indy, Washington.
Yo, I'm gonna take a pause my betting real quick. Indiana laying points on the road. What?
That's what I said.
I was actually visibly upset from Huffer's speech last night on your show, Trevor. He talked for like 7 minutes about how he's like, this is a rallying point and we're gonna win the battle on the interior. It was like he was trying to rally the team. Washington, Indiana sucks.
Trevor, go ahead. You probably know the Big Ten better than I do, so I lean Indiana here, and I hate it, and I want nothing to do with it.
I didn't bet this game. Out of respect for Huff, I did not bet Washington. This line is disgusting. Malik Renault, I think he left shoot around and went to the ER last game. Yeah. He got sick or something. Like, I don't know what kind of sickness you come down with at shoot around where you go to the hospital. But Washington at home, this is a weird spot. We've seen Washington pick off some teams at home. Barring a crazy second half from Purdue, they were up on Purdue and could have won that game. Now you got Indiana, yeah, them too. Now you got Indiana off of a crazy, not a crazy comeback, a tough game against Penn State and Purdue at home. Now they're going to fly away to the West Coast. This is a fairly early tip time, I believe, too. I think it's like 3-ish, so I guess not crazy early, but this line, it feels like it's telling you, like they're begging for Indiana money. I want no part of it. I'm not, out of respect, I'm not betting Washington for Huff, but I may do it anyway.
I guess you're a better man than I. I enjoy fading toast teams. I kind of get off on it. And I enjoy texting after to make sure he knows that I faded his team and won. A lot of people did not like my Pittsburgh pick, but I want to isolate this comment. Justin Vestal says, Kyle's been good on Saturdays. You're damn right. 17-6, my last 2 college basketball Saturdays. That being said, the 17-6, they're not plus 450 Pitt money lines bets. That's for sure. All right, let's go to the next one. Florida State Duke. Toast says this is free, by the way. It's free, according to Toast.
Yeah. Seminoles up. What's this number at now?
22.
Oh, yeah. Just keeps on falling and falling and falling. I just really think that Florida State matches up well against Duke.
Oh, no.
Is Duke,
what's the point?
I know, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I was like, wait a minute. The thing with Duke is that I just feel like this is a lot of points for a game that they don't really need. They have everything that they need. They have everything they need locked up. We just saw them absolutely kill Miami on the road, but I think that Florida State's a much better team than Miami. They haven't played a close game in a while, and now they're laying around the same number that they faced like around Cal when Cal played them at home. And with Florida State, I will give you that they're anything special, but they've also played Louisville and North Carolina their last couple of games. North Carolina is actually playing somewhat decent over the last couple of weeks. Louisville is a really good team, and the one thing that I like to preach on, especially when you're fading Duke or trying to fade Duke, is how do teams match up with them? And Florida State matches up well with them because I continue to harp on, is Duke the biggest team in the country, but they don't ever have to play teams that are as big as them. Florida State is as big as them across the board. So again, I just feel like this is way too many points. I got Florida State, I think 24 or 23.5 or whatever. It continues to climb down, but there's no question in my mind that Duke wins this basketball game. But with the total at this number, and I'm getting over 20 some points, there's no question in my mind. I bet Florida State last night.
Yeah, it's not that I disagree with him about about his pick. Hey, Prop Beaver, can you do me a favor? This is like maybe OCD, but can you move the pick graphics down so it's not, you can't see the bottom of the Twitter text? I don't know why that's bothering me. So you can use the arrow keys. Yeah. So you could put Florida State up for me as well. It's not that I disagree with the pick. It's just he said the word free as if it's not crazy for Duke to just win this one by 30. Of course they can. But what he said makes sense. I mean, he was talking about before we went live how Duke's laying the same number to Florida State that they were laying to like Cal and the likes of some of the worst teams in the conference. And although Florida State's not a powerhouse, they're not that bad. So I guess the counter argument would be like, yeah, Duke was laying those same numbers to Cal and won by 50. So like maybe those numbers should have been higher. But this is where the market's at now. So I guess that's the counter argument, but it makes sense. I'm not disagreeing with the pick. I'm just disagreeing with the fact that he literally said, not sarcastic, not making a joke, that Florida State was free. And I thought that was some silly shit. So that's what I was making fun of. Trevor?
Yeah, I'm not going to get cute with this. I get Florida State, on paper matches up nice against Duke, but how many times are we going to fade Duke and they rout teams by 30 points? Like, just stop. Give me Duke. I'm not betting this game.
All right.
I don't hate a Florida State team total under also.
Yeah, Toast is the only one that bet that. I'm not doing that.
I'll root for you. I'll root for you. I would love to see.
Oh, yeah. I'll be rooting for Florida State, but I'm good.
Not to mention, Duke hasn't beat Florida State by 20 plus in who knows how many years, at least 7. So I'll take my chances.
Okay, so
I get it. It's a different team. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's a history there. If this is the one time it's an anomaly, so be it. Seminoles up.
Trevor, I forget if it was you or Huffer. Someone on your show last night had a bet they loved in this game, and I remember thinking I should tail that. And then I rebuilt my NBA spreadsheets last night, so I was kind of like half listening, and then I forgot what you said, and I never. So, who do you remember what I'm talking about? Someone loved the bet in this game.
Yeah, it was both of us. We're both on Utah here. We laid it
really
7.5. Yep.
They were talking. I'm telling you, they were talking confidently too. Like they like this one.
Yeah, this is a Utah smash spot. They're coming off of 2 road games, Arizona, UCF. Everybody was thinking the 15.5 with Arizona was big. You get the coach bump with the Utah, fresh new coach, catching 15.5 points. They'll get up and play. Arizona routed them, which, Arizona off a loss. Now you get an Arizona State team that's fucking terrible. They beat a bad Kansas State team. Kansas State, again, lost their mojo. Prior to that, they beat Colorado by 2 on the road, and then West Virginia, which West Virginia was off of the Iowa State win. So other than that, they've done absolutely nothing. And again, they've lost 7 of their last 8. Now you get Utah coming home, laying an 8, 7.5, whatever the hell. That's a big number. It's a big number. And Arizona State's just been bad. I'm pretty sure Quaintance isn't going to play. BJ Freeman's off the team. This team's just kind of fucking shipping it in at this point. Utah, we were a game early on the coach angle. It's at home today. They get up. They'll rout this team. Utah by double digits easy.
I'm just tailing. I don't even know much about Utah. I know they look pretty good in that. They obviously beat Kansas, and I'm pretty sure they look decent in the game after that too. So
Kansas State.
They beat Kansas State, right? Yes,
Yep.
because I bet Kansas State in the game. So yes, they did beat Kansas. So this is just a blind tail of these guys. That's it.
You know who else beat Kansas State by 12 on the road? Arizona State. What the hell? I mean, what are we talking about here, guys?
That's why I had the roster.
Arizona State for me. You have an Arizona State team that, yes, they have not been played well as far as their record is concerned. But going back to the month of February, they've had to play Arizona, Texas Tech, Houston, and BYU. Again, most teams in the country aren't going to win those games. So I get that Utah has been playing a little bit better, especially at home, but they're also not winning by margin besides like the games at like Kansas and whatnot. And the ones that games that are Cincinnati was a 3-point game. Kansas State was like a 5-point game. Kansas was a 7-point game. The only one that they really won by margin was Colorado. So I know that Arizona State hasn't been good, but they've also played some really good competition over the last month, and they match up well with Arizona. They've played a good schedule. They played one of the hardest schedules in the country, and they're one of the bigger teams in the country to match up with Utah. It's Arizona State or pass for me. I didn't bet this, but I really wanted to.
Next.
Arizona State's got injuries, by the way. Quaintance undisclosed.
I know, that's why I'm not.
Miller undisclosed and Alston Mason illness are all questionable.
Yeah, if you like Arizona State, I would make sure those guys play. But yeah, that's why it's a pass.
You'll get a better number if one of them's ruled out. Like especially Quaintance, you'll get a better number. So
yep.
I just bet Utah, so I'm in. Marquette Georgetown. No way will I lay 8.5 with Marquette on the road here, but why do I have a feeling they're going to kill him? Georgetown, remember, Sorber's out for the year now. That's their best player. I don't know. I feel like Marquette's going to kill him. So you can put Marquette up, but I'm not going to do this. I'm not crazy. But just let the record show I want to.
Yeah, I think that you can use Marquette in a moneyline parlay piece if you want, but I kind of feel the same way as Kyle. I do think that Marquette's a good basketball team. Just laying multiple possessions on the road is not really a spot I want to bet them historically with Shaka Smart. So, and they really haven't really been. I mean, they've won by margin, but again, a lot of those 3 of their last 4 games have been at home. When they've been on the road, it hasn't been as nearly impressive. So, you can put up Marquette for me because there's no chance in hell. I would say it's a little bit of a sleepy spot because they have UConn and St. John's, and regardless of how you feel about UConn, those are 2 very big games for them. But regardless, it would be Marquette or pass.
Trevor?
Yeah, I'd take Georgetown. I like them. This number's set at 8.5. What has Marquette really done?
Yeah,
that we're going to believe in this Marquette team. They're fugazi as fuck. They just got a big win against Providence. Awesome. That was away from the dunk. I don't hold anything against Providence for that. Lost to Villanova. Beat the shit out of Seton Hall. Congrats. Beat DePaul by 10. Butler was a 9-point game. Like Villanova, a 13-point game at home. But they don't win by like crazy margin. They've kind of fallen back to earth a little bit. I think them off a 30-point win and they're only laying 8.5. I think it's a little trappy to take Marquette here. They beat Georgetown with Sorber by 8 at home. Now there's no Sorber, and it's going to be an 8.5 spread, like a month and a half, 2 months later. I take Georgetown, but I am looking potentially at a prop in this game. Micah Peavy over 19.5 points is minus 104. His last couple games, he shot the ball 16, 21, 22, 19, 20, 19, 16 times. I mean, he's taken a lot of shots since Sorber's been gone, and he's had 27 or 25, 20, 30, 21, 22, 27, 19. St. John's home to 6, then 27, 24. I mean, he's been going off. So he's basically the only guy that they have for offense. So getting him at even money to score 20 points, I like that. I might actually fire on that today too.
Someone asked about Colgate American in the comments, and weirdly, you asked about the one mid-major game I have a bet on. It's like of all the mid-major games, I bet one, and that's it. Well, actually, I bet Purdue Fort Wayne, so now I have 2. I'm on Colgate minus 4.5. Here's the reason. In the Pump Fig Show comments yesterday, We Love Drugs says he likes Colgate minus 4.5. And I said, you like Colgate? Like, I was asking him, like, confirming, like, you're betting this? And he goes, yeah, love the toothpaste automatic lock.
I saw that.
So I was like, I tailed because he likes the toothpaste. We Love Drugs. All right, let's move on to the next one. I was kind of like, how do I not tail that?
And his point too, Colgate's lost on the road. They've been really good at home, and this is a revenge spot also for Colgate.
I should have mentioned that the guys on the show liked Colgate, so like it wasn't just like blindly tailing a freak in the comments talk about toothpaste. They actually liked it too, but it was that comment that's like, screw it, I'll do it. Georgia, Texas. Come on, guys, you know what to do. It's Rodney Terry with a minus.
Horns up. You get Georgia. You get Georgia off of fucking beating who the hell did they beat? Florida. They beat Florida. They stormed the court. Granted, some bullshit that they wait 90 seconds for the players to leave the court and storm bullshit. Just storm the fucking court. Regardless, they still did. Come on, it's Georgia on the road. They beat Florida, and they're catching 5.5. Who the hell wants to lay 5.5 points with Texas? Absolutely nobody. I do. Toast does. They're going to fucking crush them. This is an absolute letdown game. It's Georgia on the road. Texas just burned everybody against Arkansas, and now they're going to flip around and lay 5.5 points, and you're going to get a team that just beat Florida catching 5.5 against a Texas team that's perceived as dog shit as a favorite. I get it, but this gives me Texas LSU vibes. Fucking Texas in a rout, man.
Toast is on. Toast is going against what we believe in.
I have, but I also like the fact that, like Trevor said, that we believed in them against Arkansas, and that game was kind of taken from us with some bullshit fouls. So there's just so many reasons for me to like Texas back at home. I know that they've lost some games, but they did beat Kentucky at home. They lost to Alabama at home, where again Alabama has just been on a roll, and they caught Arkansas at a really, really hot time at home. But besides that, they've been playing really well. I know that they lost earlier in the year to teams like Tennessee and Auburn, but we've talked about it ad nauseum. Those games could have went either way with the way that Texas played in the second half. So, and then again, like Trevor said, Georgia off of a huge win against Florida and now hitting the road where they've been absolutely terrible. So, Georgia was one of my favorite plays the last time they played, so that was huge for me. So, but I feel like this number is small. It is going down. I bet Texas at 5.5. It's at 4.5 right now. I do not care. Texas by 10 plus.
Rodney Terry with a minus. Fade. Georgia next.
Georgia off of Florida. Fade.
Okay, guys, let me talk first. Prop viewers are gonna hit the poll up. We're talking about Texas A&M on the road in Florida, and I have a plan. I want you guys to hear me out.
I hope it's the same as mine.
Texas A&M has lost 3 in a row, right? They're entering the time when I like to bet a team, when no one else wants to, aka Pitt. I don't think they're there yet. Here's the picture I'm going to paint you. Florida beats Texas A&M by 30 here and fully completes the nobody wants to bet Texas A&M sweep. We take Texas A&M money line Tuesday night.
I think Texas A&M can play well here today. So
I think they're one game away from the bet 'em when no one else likes them spot. I think they need one more.
The only reason that I haven't bet Texas A&M yet is because this number continues to climb.
You know what? Another way to play it, Toast? How about this? I think Texas A&M beats either Florida or Auburn on Tuesday night. I think they're winning one of those. So the big plus price, if you play them both, you can put Florida up for me. I'm not betting this one. I'm going to make it clear. I'm not betting this one, but if you have my word, if Florida beats the hell out of Texas A&M here, and I'm talking about by 15 plus, nobody on planet Earth will want to bet Texas A&M Tuesday night at home against Auburn, and I'm going to take the money line. So if Florida beats the shit out of Texas A&M stock will be at an all-time low. That's when we buy at home in front of Auburn, against Auburn. That's my plan.
Trevor, am I crazy for one to bet Texas A&M? Because I've just been waiting, and now I'm about. If you say yes, I'm pulling the trigger at 9.5.
Buddy, there's other games to bet, unfortunately, because I like Florida. Toast or Sauce may have swayed me a little bit. I haven't bet this, but Florida's off of a fucking loss. Florida's off of a fucking loss, man. Now they're at home. I get it's a little odd line, but they're pissed off, man. Like they're gonna rout them. Like I got that feeling. Texas A&M's not good. Granted, they can rebound, but their offense is fucking putrid. And Florida's defense isn't terrible. I believe Condon is out or game time decision or something for Florida. So I mean, you could argue that, but they still have Handlagen or whatever the fuck his name is.
I'm betting this.
Oh, yeah, no. Forward Alex Condon returned from injury and suffered another loss against Georgia. Yeah, so he's back. So he just had his injury game. It wasn't right. This is the one. I might bet Florida now that I see Condon's going to be in.
Yeah, we need Auburn to beat Kentucky in that scenario, obviously. But
yeah, I just bet Texas A&M plus 9.5. I think that buy on spot is now with Texas A&M. I know that Florida is coming off of a loss, but Florida's also been kind of playing over their head all year. They're a very, very good basketball team, but I will say that I do like Texas A&M defensively. I will notice I'm reading the shot quality stuff as well. They have a lot of 3-point luck coming their way. I trust their defense against a team like Florida against the dribble drive. Yeah, I really like Texas A&M here. I'm not going to let you guys sway me. Texas A&M, I've already bet it.
I'm not betting Florida, so I wasn't trying to sway you. There is a buy low spot on Texas A&M coming. Maybe it's today, but I think it's Tuesday.
Trevor has to go first in this game because
clones.
I don't.
No one
that's
wants
what
to
I'm
do
saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like you have to.
Clones.
Yep. And let us not forget the late stream in January.
I remember.
A young man by the name of Caleb Love pulled off something improbable, and we got the win live. Iowa State up. That Arizona, congrats on beating the shit out of Utah at home. Now, you have a desperate Iowa State team here. They've been dropping games. They're beat up. They're banged up. I would imagine they get a guy or two back. Even if they don't, I don't care. This is an absolute revenge spot. The only reason Arizona won that last one was because of that fucking half-court heave, and then you just depleted, and they broke Iowa State from that point. This is a chance for Iowa State to get their shit back, get their mojo back, destroy the team that wronged you, and get it done here. Iowa State -6. I laid 5.5 last night. I love Iowa State here. They're gonna fucking get it done here. Arizona catching 6.5 after how they've looked. No, thank you. And the way Iowa State's looked with the injuries, no, this is an Iowa State spot. This is the number for a reason.
Here's the thing. I agree with you that situationally, you bet Iowa State here. I agree with that. I feel like there's far too many sharps doing the same thing to the point where it's a little bit out of price now. I mean, -6. If this game was -2.5, sure, yeah. But like -6 now, I feel I'm not taking Arizona. Hell no. You put Iowa State up. I'm just explaining why I'm not actually betting it, because I think a lot of people are following that same logic. Like, everyone wants to bet Arizona here. Not a lot of people are liking this Iowa State team anymore. So Iowa State's my pick. I don't think I actually get there to place the bet. This game's not for another 10 hours, maybe by then. But yeah, I want to be on the clones. It's a bit pricey.
I was going to say, if you're hesitant about betting the clones, since this game is, like Saw said, in 10 hours, just keep a look for Keyshawn Gilbert. If he's in, it's probably worth losing a point of value or a half point or whatever the number is, because he's been out there last 2 games, but there's been rumors that he'll be back, and he's like one of, if not their best player. I think he is their best player personally. So if he's back, it should be. Yeah. Okay. Touche. But regardless, they should be close. You think Jones is better than Gilbert? I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean,
the same.
You could argue it, especially when they're healthy and he comes off the bench. Curtis Jones gives them a huge lift.
All right. Next.
You could even probably live bet that. If Arizona comes out to like a 3-0, 4-0 lead or something, you could probably get 4.5.
Keep in mind, the first time those two teams played, Arizona went on like a 15-2 run to end the game, including that 3-ball, obviously. So
yeah.
Someone said it's a gold out in that game. They're recognizing Halliburton pregame. I don't know.
Oh, Tyrese. He's an Oshkosh West alum down here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Steve Mason in the comment. I don't know if he's like trolling me. He might just be saying shit. He sounds like he's being serious though. Find out if it's Halliburton night.
Iowa State gold, or are they yellow?
It's like red and gold, like a goldish yellow.
Okay.
Oh no, they're wearing those yellow and red unis.
No, I meant like what day is it at the stadium? Is it Halliburton?
It was Halliburton's birthday yesterday, so I would imagine. I'm trying to find. They're not saying anything. They're not saying anything, but it was his birthday yesterday. I would not be shocked if they do that. And they have to, because they posted Halliburton on their game day picture, game 29 versus Arizona State or Arizona. They got a Halliburton on there, so I'd imagine so.
West Virginia on the road to BYU. This line's a little out of control. I think
out of control, as in like small.
West Virginia plus the points. Put it up,
Trevor. Because I agree with him. Unfortunately, I gotta take a piss really quick.
This line. I mean, BYU's coming off of 2 huge games. Like West Virginia looks like they've kind of run out of gas here. What have they done lately? I'm forgetting here. Yeah, they just beat TCU, but that was at home. They won by 18. Now they got to fly from West Virginia all the way over to Provo. Provo's, that place is always rocking. I just don't know if West Virginia has the horses to keep up. But this total kind of implies that West Virginia kind of slows the game down, gets their style somehow in Provo, or Provo just completely locks down West Virginia. I would bet BYU -9.5, but I'm not touching this game. I just think BYU's better. They've got momentum. West Virginia feels like they've kind of run out of gas a little bit. But it is a revenge spot. Let's not forget that BYU game. They lost at home. That was a tight game. They had that game and then blew it late. So BYU also wasn't playing at the same level at that point. So I'd take BYU, but I'm not going to bet this game.
I think I might bet this, honestly.
Yeah, I was just going to say really quickly for me, I think that West Virginia does match up well with them. Unless West Virginia's completely mailed it in, I do think this is a decent spot to play on West Virginia, only because you're getting BYU at like an all time, but for this season, a very high number as far as market value is concerned. So they really can't really look much better than what they've looked like over the last couple of weeks. So I just felt this number was a little high. I thought it was more like around 6.5, 7, something like that.
You see why I can't blindly trust the comments? Someone now saying it's Jonathan Smith hot dog night at BYU. That's why I'm hesitant to trust the comments. Gonna have me saying something like idiotic on the stream.
It just reminds me of all the baseball streams when it'd be like Carlos Delgado bobblehead night. Gotta bet the Blue Jays.
People just making shit up like, hey, it's actually Shakira night in Phoenix. Oregon State, St. Mary's. Oregon State St. Mary's by 20 plus.
I actually agree with that, to be honest with you. They got their or St. Mary's, I feel like, got their scare out of the way against Loyola Marymount after playing Gonzaga, and now they can absolutely throttle this Oregon State team that is coming off a game where, I mean, I know that they've looked decent over the last week or so, but that San Francisco game, they really, I know they only lost by 2, but they should have won that game. I just don't know how. I don't know if they're going to be able to get up on the road here against St. Mary's. So I'm not in love with laying 12.5, but again, St. Mary's has been doing that a lot lately. So it's no question for me. It's St. Mary's.
Yeah, St. Mary's. St. Mary's has laid the same number at LMU, and they got scared to lose that game. Or had a chance to lose that game. And everyone likes Oregon State, right? They catch teams. They've had some big wins. Guess what? That's at Corvallis on a random fucking Wednesday night. Late as shit. Now you're going to St. Mary's. Yeah. It's getting too popular. And Oregon State on the road, I believe they've won like one fucking game or something like that. Oregon State away. Yeah, they beat San Diego by 10, didn't cover. Pepperdine didn't cover, 6-point win. Lost at Portland. Gonzaga smoked them. San Francisco smoked them. They beat Pacific. Congratulations. Lost to Santa Clara. Lost to LMU. And then lost to North Texas. So, I mean, like, they've got, 2 road wins, and that's Pepperdine and San Diego, and they didn't cover either of those games. St. Mary's just had their hangover game after winning it. They're back home. The Bennett bros aren't going to let them sleepwalk 2 games in a row. This is easy. I laid it with St. Mary's also. I got the 12.5. I don't know what it's at now. I don't give a shit if it's down to 10.5. They're gonna fucking steamroll. I gotta grab coffee quick.
Last game of the stream. Yeah, right. This is number 30.
Warmed up. No, I'm just messing around. I was just saying.
Yeah,
I enjoy these, and I know this is the last Saturday. It's just sad.
Yes, I mean, pretty soon we'll be doing MLB Saturday streams in the morning.
I know. I'm excited.
So, I mean, this line is disrespectful to the Dons.
What is it now?
9.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus. I mean, yeah, I agree. Not going to get off my high horse with Gonzaga. Can't lay multiple possessions with them, especially on the road, especially coming off a game where they essentially, I mean, I'm not saying this because I'm my fan, they almost looked perfect against Santa Clara, especially in the second half. So I lean San Francisco here. San Francisco needs this game. San Francisco is doing something at their place this weekend. I can't remember what it is. But regardless, I actually might bet San Francisco here. They need this game. I think it's for number 2. That's what it is. It's for number 2 in the West Coast Conference. So I think this is a kind of like a grind it out type of game. These two teams did play earlier this year, and Gonzaga won in Gonzaga. Gonzaga won that game by 10 or 11, I think it is. So I 100% agree with Kyle. I know he was kind of saying that for a dig at me, but I do think this number is a little bit ridiculous. I will be betting San Francisco.
Is this senior night, Trevor?
Yes, I'm pretty positive this is their last one, but I believe they already did senior night because guess what? Do you know where they're playing this game?
I do.
Chase Center.
Yup, and they fucking suck at the Chase Center. Everyone's gonna back San Francisco because they need this game. You know, Gonzaga.
What do you mean they suck at the Chase Center?
They're fucking terrible. They don't win at home. Like they lost to Memphis there. They blew that game. Semi home. They lost to Gonzaga last year by 18 in the Chase Center.
St. Mary's
different
at
Gonzaga
home.
team. That Gonzaga team was 10 times better.
They beat St. Mary's at home. It's the best team in the conference.
Yeah, no, at home, not at the
that
Chase.
was at War Memorial.
Where the fuck is this place?
So War Memorial is where they usually play. It's one of those small, tiny gyms.
Oh, it's like what UConn does.
Yes, except now they're playing where the Warriors play in the nice, beautiful Chase Center, where it's been completely different. I went on a rant that game last year. I went on a rant telling, because everybody loved San Francisco last year, and I went on a rant telling everybody how bad they were in that building. But I just feel like 9 is a completely different story. I don't think that they probably win this game, but again, Gonzaga laying multiple possessions on the road against a competent team. You're not going to catch me doing that.
Put Gonzaga up for me. Switch me to the Zags.
I don't think San Francisco's ever won in this building. Back to 16, there's no semi-homes. It's like all the way 2021.
I know, but you know what sucks? You know what's stupid about that too is that now, but Ken Palm doesn't filter it as a semi-home, because if you look on right now, it's a home game. But the same thing with when they go like St. Mary's, you have to like hold your cursor over it and look at the bottom left where it tells you where the games are, which sucks because it's hard to filter. Yeah, it's dumb.
Well, that's weird because the Memphis one he has listed as a semi-home.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He probably doesn't even know.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't know. But yeah, they suck at the Chase Center. Gonzaga, easy.
All right, that's the last game. Toast, 60 seconds. Rattle off some. You each take 60 seconds. Rattle off some mid-major picks you have. Rapid fire.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my list up. Trevor, do you have any off the top of your head?
All right,
Yeah,
we'll go 30 seconds. 60 is a long time.
All right, I bet VMI plus 9.5. I got Maine over Bryant. IU Indy plus 4.5. I mean, are you kidding me? We were a game early on that. Colorado State minus 1.5. Cal Poly minus 3. Portland State minus 2.5. Sam Houston minus 2.5. New Mexico State minus 3.5. UMass minus 1. Oakland minus 6.5 against Green Bay.
We can pass
I
the ball.
Baylor. I got Baylor minus 13.5. Wyoming plus 7.5, and then Hawaii minus 2.5 to end the night.
I have Baylor too. I was thinking about betting that one. Toast, rapid fire.
I'm on Colorado State as well. Matter of fact, Wofford Furman over, Providence plus 7.5. Everything other game that I've bet we've actually have covered. To be dead honest with you guys.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I don't think we'll do like a midnight one tonight. It's Saturday night, but we'll be back tomorrow. And the plan is tomorrow, obviously, we have NBA. There's some college basketball. There's some Big Ten games. If you want to stick around after the show tomorrow, we're going to go through the conference tournaments and each pick a winner and a dark horse. So like a winner and a sleeper pick to win each conference tournament. March Madness starts tomorrow, for those of you that didn't know. Tomorrow night is officially the first conference tournament. So we're doing... So, like, this time tomorrow, when we're done with the picks, we're going to just pull up each conference and go one by one, and each person's going to pick a winner and a sleeper to win. So that's what we're doing.
Duquesne wins tonight, too, guys. Duquesne beats George Mason.
All right. So, see everyone tomorrow. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. I'll be working all day with basketball on, so I'll be here if you need me. Yeah. Talk to you guys later.